What comes to mind when you think of Bill Cosby? I'm guessing it's not comedy. You probably thought of his numerous crimes and assaults. Yeah, Bill Cosby is an awful person. But before everyone knew that he was a disgusting villain, people thought that he was a lovable family man. Ghost Dad was a film made in 1990. At the time, it was just another Bill Cosby movie. He was starring in a bunch of movies at the time, no matter the quality. If you gave this guy money, he was going to do the goddamn movie. By the way, if you press subscribe right now, that'd be pretty cool. I currently only have 4 subscribers, and 2 of them is me. Yeah, I would really appreciate it. So the movie starts out with this really weird intro sequence where he tells his daughter a bedtime story through a tape recorder because he's a terrible father, which is an interesting technique. Look at her. She's sitting there like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Part of the quote-unquote charm of Bill Cosby movies is that he does this dumb thing where he makes silly noises and silly faces. They make him do that all the time. And in the 90s, I guess people thought it was funny for some reason.
When I get my raise and new promotion, which will include me in the company's insurance and pension plan.
Yes, thank you for telling your 7-year-old child that. I'm sure she understands everything you just said. So yeah, as he just said, the main plot of the movie is that on Thursday, he's going to get a raise. And that money is going to provide a better life for him and his 3 children. However, as we will see in a bit, there's something that throws a wrench in his plan. After he's done with the bedtime story and all the plot development, the next morning rolls around. So these are Bill's 3 kids, Amanda, Danny, and Diane. Today is Diane's birthday. Does Father of the Year Bill Cosby remember that it's her birthday?
Wonder what Daddy's excuse will be.
Oh, come on. He wouldn't forget your birthday.
Of course he'll forget, and then he'll say he'll make it up to me.
I love that fucking stupid sound effect they use. I also want to add that that's the only time in the movie where they use a sound effect like that. Like, it's so out of place. So Bill, realizing that he forgot his daughter's birthday, he tries to figure out a way to make it seem like he remembered. And the genius idea he conjures up is to put shaving cream and a candle on a top hat. First of all, why? And second of all, who wrote that? Somebody wrote that. He starts to sing her happy birthday, but he legitimately forgets her name.
Happy birthday, dear. Wait, give me a chance.
Normally the audience is supposed to like the main character, but so far Bill Cosby has been nothing but awful, which actually tracks, I guess.
Well, I have to get mushy. Fathers get like that sometimes. My father on my 9th birthday dressed up in a bunny costume for a whole week.
Did you hear that, guys? His dad dressed as a bunny. You better remember that because, believe it or not, that's one of the most important things of the entire film. So Bill and his daughter take out the trash, and you see that little dweeb rolling up on his bike? His name is Stuart. His main character trait is that he's a little bitch.
Take out your own garbage?
Yes.
We pay people to do that for us.
We are then introduced to Bill Cosby's love interest of the film, Joanne. She's mainly there so we can see Bill get rizzy.
You are so funny.
I'm not that funny.
You got that right, Bill. You are in fact not funny. So Bill goes to work, and when he leaves, he decides that he needs to take a taxi. But this is no ordinary taxi driver. The taxi starts going like crazy in and out through traffic, and Bill starts to get a little concerned.
Going a little fast, aren't we?
The driver has an interesting reaction to that question. He just fucking turns around and stares at him. So the driver just starts doing crazy shit like running red lights and running up on the median and shit. And then he turns around and says this to Bill.
Do you accept the Lord Satan as the supreme being and evil your salvation?
So this guy's whole thing is that he's a devil worshiper. And for some reason that means he just doesn't care about living at all. But I gotta give him credit. He's low-key whipping that thing. The devil's kind of keeping him safe a little bit. Hey, don't get mad at me, I'm calling it like it is. So Bill starts pleading for his life and offers the devil worshiper his wallet to stop the cab. Again, this is extremely important to the plot. When I first watched this movie, I completely forgot that that happened and I was really confused.
Do you worship Satan? Worship him! I am Satan!
Yeah, Bill. You kind of are Satan. I'm glad you finally noticed, buddy. For some reason, the devil worshiper believes Bill and tries to stop the car. But he does not succeed in the slightest. He slams the taxi into the guardrail of a bridge over a river. They do this stupid bit where they teeter back and forth that they do in every movie, and then they eventually fall. And finally, regular dad is now ghost dad. So eventually this cop pulls up to the scene and Bill runs up to him asking for help. But instead, The cop just whips it out and starts peeing all over him. Bill obviously gets mad and he chases the cop into the street. But then... green screen tech wasn't quite there when this movie was made. Okay, just ignore it. He realizes that he is in fact dead, and he decides that he's going to walk home, which has to be like 20 miles away from where he is, right? Okay, why did he fall through the floor? Did he not just walk like 20 miles? Why would he just now be falling through the floor? It makes no fucking sense.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dan. What?
Daddy. Oh my God! Where'd he go?
Daddy?
So in this movie's logic, you can only see ghosts if they're in the dark. His kids see that they're trying to talk to them, but they can't actually hear what he's saying. So they play this stupid fucking game of charades until they figure out that he's not regular dad anymore, he's ghost dad. Figure out that he can actually communicate with them through telepathy. But when he does, he sounds just really weird.
No, honey. Sounds my on a wow.
So after mumbling to his children for a little bit, something really weird happens.
Daddy?
He just gets ripped out of there with zero warning. Where does he go? He goes to this guy's house. This is Edith. He knows everything there is about death and ghosts. He summoned Bill to his humble abode because he sensed that there was a mistake made by a higher power. And that mistake was Bill's death. Because of Edith's weird fascination with ghosts, he has a bunch of like technology and contraptions dealing with that sort of stuff. So somehow he fixes Bill's voice.
What am I doing?
Thank God, and begins to explain to him that he is not long for this earth. Edith explains to Bill that he's going to slowly start fading away until he's completely gone in about 3 days' time. So he has to figure out a way to fix this little conundrum of his.
Please, Sir Edith.
Edith.
Throughout the movie, they have this dumb bit where they keep saying that Edith has a girl's name.
I was named after my grandmama.
So you see, it is a girl's name.
No, it's not.
So Edith sends Bill back to his house so he can get his affairs in order. So Bill gets a call from his big boss guy who's upset at him because he missed a meeting.
Why weren't you at the bank meeting, Hopper? This merger is falling apart!
So Bill realizes that he's going to have to go to the office even though he's dead. So the next morning, the kids make a plan that they're going to come along with Bill to work so they can help him pass as a regular living person.
Kids, where's your dad? Everybody's been going crazy looking for him.
Maybe he's dead.
That seems like an odd thing to say to somebody. If I was working somewhere and my coworker's children came in and said something like that to me, I am immediately calling the police. So in order to get his life insurance, Bill has to do a physical. But you're probably thinking, how's he gonna do a physical? He's a ghost. Yeah, no shit, dumbass. Don't worry. Bill has a plan. His genius idea is to get covered head to toe in what I can only describe as Inspector Gadget chic. He covers himself completely in clothes so that people can actually see him while he's in the light. For some reason, this guy is the only person that is sussed out by this diabolical fit that Bill is wearing. Somehow the scheme works and Bill makes it into the doctor's room.
It's dark in here. If you wouldn't, I'm a little shy.
What do you mean by that? So the doctor tells Bill that he has to get an x-ray, but again, he's a ghost. He's got no bones.
Put your chest up against the plate, please.
No, that can't be what he does. He uses the skeleton. That's what he does.
Mr. Harbert, chest against the plate, please.
Somehow that works, and as he's putting the skeleton back in the closet, the same guy from earlier walks in and sees the skeleton moving by itself. The doctor then tells him that he has to pee in a cup, which obviously he can't do because, again, he's a ghost. How do people see this and not think, this guy might be a little creepy? If I had a nickel for every time Bill Cosby got peed on in this movie, I would have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it happened twice, right? Yo, this guy can't catch a break. Leave this poor guy alone. Look at his face. He's traumatized. So after that whole debacle, Diane is taking Bill home from the doctor's office. But who does she run into? Her crush, Tony Ricker. Tony is an absolute dreamboat, if you ask me. So he gets in the car and starts putting the moves on Diane.
Hey, Diane.
Now look, I'm no professional Rizzler, but I don't think you should do that to anyone, ever. This upsets Bill Cosby, which is strange because it seems like something he would do in real life, and he fucking throws Tony out of a moving vehicle into oncoming traffic. And Diane doesn't take too kindly to that.
I cannot believe that you did that!
So Bill gets home and takes out the trash with little Amanda, but uh-oh, he forgot that he's invisible. Stewart sees this happen and is rightfully a little bit suspicious of some foul play occurring. So Diane's mad at her father for attempting to kill Tony Decker, and she locks him out of her room. What does this movie think, I'm fucking stupid? The name of the movie is Ghost Dad. How is he locked out of her room? He's a ghost. Walk through the door. The movie does this shit over and over again where it doesn't follow its own rules, and it makes me angry. Anyway, Joanne comes over, but Amanda tells her to fuck off, basically, and this upsets Joanne, and she leaves.
Doom, yes, come on now, the trunk
I
of
can't
doom.
be a professional magician using the same old stuff.
Oh yeah, Danny wants to be a magician, by the way. I didn't mention it earlier because the movie doesn't mention it earlier either. So there's another knocking at the door, but this time it's Bill's bosses. They're mad because he hasn't been at work closing the deal. So they came to his house, which is a little creepy. But Bill can't deal with them right now. He has to go fix his relationship with Joanne because Amanda told her to fuck off. So he tells Danny to stall them while he goes to patch things up.
Stall him.
This next scene is so fucking dumb. All of a sudden there are gale force winds blowing outside. Even though 5 seconds ago we saw all his bosses standing out there just fine. The winds are so strong that it blows Bill like 20 feet in the air. But Stewart sees all of this go down, and he's really suspicious now. So Bill eventually gets into the house, and he tries to apologize to Joanne. And whew, things get a little steamy.
But I have people wait.
Just need to relax.
That is an unfortunate scene. Moving on. Bill comes back to his house to talk to the business guys about business. And wait, what is that? Is that a turned on lamp within the vicinity of the ghost father? He should be invisible, shouldn't he? Strike 2. Anyway, while they're talking business, Bill gets an unexpected phone call.
Yes.
Mr. Hopper, it's Stewart.
Stewart.
See, I know that you're an alien.
Stewart is on to Bill Cosby. How do you think Bill responds to that? Wrong. He fucking floats up to his bedroom window and fucking threatens him with some pretty Bill Cosby-esque threats.
You mention one thing to anybody about this, and so help me, I'll do things to you that you can't even imagine. You!
So upon seeing that, Stewart passes out and Bill returns back to his home. When Bill gets home, Danny keeps pestering him about how he needs help with his magic trick at school, and it does not go well for him.
Danny, there are other things in this world besides the magic.
The phone rings, and it's Tony Ricker calling again. The first time I watched this scene, I legitimately could not believe my eyes.
Put the bitch on the phone. Put the bitch on the phone.
This, of course, makes Diane even more upset at Bill.
What did you do?
So everyone in the house, except Amanda, I guess, goes to bed upset at him because they feel angry and neglected. The next day rolls around, and at school, Tony Ricker runs away from Diane, because of course he would, and Danny ends up having to do his magic trick alone without his father. Oh, what's Danny's magic trick? Oh, it's him locking himself in a box with a straitjacket on. Doesn't really seem like he thought that one through, at all. But What's this? Ghost Father's here to save the day. So yeah, Bill Cosby realized that he was being a bad father and that spending time with his children was more important than money. Stewart passes out again at the sight of the floating box, and Danny ends up getting an A for his magic. But sadly, because of this little stunt Bill pulls, he ends up getting fired from his job.
You're fired!
You walked out on a meeting.
And oh no, we forgot. Too much time has passed. He's starting to fade away. Did you forget about that? I bet you did. Anyway, Joanne comes over to Bill's house, and Bill decides that he has to come clean with her about his state of living. She didn't take it too well.
I thought you were afraid of intimacy. I didn't know you deceased.
Actually, I fear you're not.
I love how Edith walks in like he's a celebrity on Disney Channel. Edith has some earth-shattering news, and it's kind of hard to explain, so just bear with me, okay? Bill Cosby is not actually dead, unfortunately. His real body is actually alive somewhere. The only reason that he is a spirit is because he was scared so badly by the taxi crash that his spirit jumped out of his body. And apparently, this is not the first time this sort of thing has happened. I'll let Edith explain.
It's been rumored there was one other case in America years ago, in the 1940s, I think. They say before he was able to find his body and get back into it, this poor fellow had to wear a bunny costume for a week.
Do you remember? Do you remember? At the beginning of the video when I said remember the bunny costume? Here we are. So apparently having the ability to leave your body is a hereditary trait. So everyone in the family is capable of doing this. And do you want to know something funny? They never explain why that is. It's just how it is. So don't think about it too much, you'll ruin it. So Edith explains that the only way for Bill to survive is if he finds his living body and goes back into it before time runs out. And thus the search for Bill's body begins.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm very sorry. My card.
Edith. But that's a girl's name.
So they ring up the hospital, and apparently the devil-worshipping cab driver is actually there at the hospital, but there's no sign of Bill's body anywhere. So they decide that they're going to go check by the river where the taxi crash occurred to see if his body is still there. They call upstairs for Diane in her room, and when she comes downstairs, so instead of going to look for Bill's body at the river, they have to take Diane to the hospital anyway.
Doctor, her blood pressure's dropping. We're losing her.
Come on, move it!
EKG hooked up.
Boo!
Diane,
Ghost daughter!
Diane, stop fooling around and get back in your body.
No way. This is great!
Diane is so fucking annoying for this. She knows that her dad is literally on the brink of death, and she's just farting around having a grand old time. This is the dumbest fucking plot line I've ever seen.
Don't do this to me.
Always about you, isn't it? How things affect you. Well, I'm thinking of me right now, and this ghost life is a lot better than that crappy life I was having to live.
All of a sudden, Diane is the villain. Low-key, that would be me, though. I'm kind of petty, too. Anyway, Bill starts to disappear or fade away or whatever, and then Diane starts to feel bad. So she starts to be the good guy again. Luckily, they are right by the intensive care unit, and there's something amazing in there that you will never believe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, so remember the wallet I told you to remember earlier? So because the cab driver had Bill's wallet when they fell, the hospital must have gotten their identity switched in the wreckage. So now all of a sudden, Bill's body is just right there. Perfect timing, right? Bill and Diane get back into their respective bodies and they have a loving father-family embrace. They all walk out of the hospital with smiles on their faces, and that's supposed to be the happy ending. But if we're being for real, that's a terrible ending. The whole point of the movie was that Bill Cosby would get the raise to be able to provide for his family, and even when he was a ghost, he was still going to get the money for them. But now, he has no job, no life insurance, and his family is still fucked. Just this time, it's worse than it was before. So yeah, this movie is kind of dumb, if you haven't figured that out already. So yeah, Bill Cosby, you are a piece of filth, and I hope that you get everything that's coming to you. There's no Edith to save you in real life. So with that being said, I'll see you later.